So changing tool bits is pretty straightforward. Normally a user or yourself will need to change tool bits when they get to this tool magazine step. You'll notice that on the top left-hand side under required tools, the spiral drill 1.5 millimeters has this big red X next to it. That tells us that we don't have that currently loaded, or the machine doesn't think that we currently have that loaded into the tool. So the first thing we're going to do is in this window here on the right-hand side, you never use the scroll wheel on the mouse. That will have a tendency to screw your day up because these are very sensitive to that. So instead, we're going to go and figure out which slot we want to place these in. None means that there's no bit in it. Unknown means that the slot is actually broken. So we can't put it into 2. So instead, we're going to put it into 1. So I'm going to click the drop down here, and not a new tool, but I'm going to go and find the spiral drill 1.5 millimeters, which is here, and I'll just click on it. And you'll see that there's a big green check here and a big green check on the right as well. But now we actually have to load it, so I'm going to go and load that. So behind the tool is a drawer called PCB Supplies. And in this drawer we have a couple of things. So obviously you have all of your boards on the right, but on the left, all of these are the individual bit boxes for bits that we need, organized roughly by size of drill. But this box is the one that we want, the LPKF toolbits box, because inside here has basically one size of all the sizes that we're going to need. And this blue tool. This blue tool is our bit removal and replacement tool. It's not complicated, but they don't sell them. So it's this blue cylindrical thing. It's got a magnet on one end and 7 holes in the other. And the bits only fit into the middle hole, so that makes it kind of easy to deal with. And we're going to go and find the 1.5 millimeter drill bit here. So I found the 1.5 millimeter drill bit, and each drill bit has 3 components to it. The top part is called the shaft, or the shank. That's what fits into the tool head itself. It literally slots in. Then it's got a collar in the middle here. And if I rotate this correctly, you'll see a number that tells us the size in millimeters of the tool, and it's always going to be in millimeters because this is a German company. Green stands for spiral drill, and if you forget the colors, on top of the box, it literally will tell you what colors mean what. And finally, obviously at the other end, the pointy end is the actual bit itself. And so the shank will actually fit. The shank will actually fit into the single hole there. And let's see if I can do this. Whoop, beautiful. And it magnetizes, so doesn't fall out, so that's nice and easy. And you'll see that there's a little space there between the collar and the actual bit removal tool. Come on, focus here. And the bit removal tool. And that's because the way that these tool bits are actually held into the magazine is that there are 2 forks. There's a top fork here and a bottom fork. And so the bit itself, when you're putting it in, the top fork will fit right in that little gap there. And then you'll just pull back and lift up. So that's super easy to do, and you'll wait for that click. Now, if we had to remove a bit from this in order to swap it out, for instance, maybe there wasn't an empty slot, you're just going to slot this guy in, and then you're just going to push out. Don't push down or up. It's really important not to do that because these, you can see here, we already broke one because the forks are really fragile. They're just thin aluminum. So we want to make sure to push out as much as possible and make sure not to clip the next bit with your finger. It's very easy to do, so I like to kind of give myself a good overhand and then just pull out. And then we've got it here. And then you can swap it out. And then again, we'll just slot the collar right between those 2 forks and pull until we hear the click. Boop. And that's how to change a bit. Great. So once you've inserted the new bit, just make sure to put this bit removal tool back into its nice little box. Close the lid and put the box back in the supplies drawer and close the drawer. One other thing, if you do have a broken bit, you're going to have to, well, can't do anything unless the lid is closed. If you do have a broken bit, you can just check this box here. Oops, come on, there it is. And then hit discard tool. And that'll discard the tool from the magazine or in the software. And then you can go, instead of spiral drill 1.5 here, you scroll all the way down. And you can actually find spiral drill 1.5 new tool will be here. And then put the broken tool bit into this nice little box here for sharps. That's labeled broken bits.